Is this Jessica? Who do you think you are? I won't let you get away with this.
Excuse me? I'm sorry, but who are you?
I'm Melissa Tyndall. You're involved with Robert Tyndall, right? I'm his wife.
Excuse me? Robert's wife?
That's correct. You're having an affair with my husband. That's adultery. You understand the gravity of that, right?
Adultery? This is quite sudden, isn't it?
Robert is my husband. You're trying to take a married man. Don't feign ignorance.
I'm not pretending. But to accuse me out of the blue like this, I'm having trouble understanding.
You must be pretty naive, then. Let me explain once more. You're dating Robert. I'm his wife. He's my husband. If you doubt me, why not ask Robert? Robert was taken aback when I confronted him, too. But he admitted it. There was no denying it. I see.
Actually, Robert just messaged me about this.
Of course. He told you his wife found out, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what he said.
So, you understand what you've done, right?
Well, that's what he said, but
Sleeping with another woman's husband. You're trying to steal my man. I'm going to even the score.
even the score? Before doing something like that, I think you should know I wasn't even seeing your husband that way.
What? Don't try to deceive me. Are you saying you've stopped seeing him? You could come up with a better lie than that.
We only started talking recently. We met up a few times, but it was purely platonic. I wouldn't even call it dating. We agreed to meet as friends first. Perhaps he saw it differently, but
You've been texting him, right? I've read your entire chat history. It's pretty clear that you two were involved. I have the evidence. Don't deny it.
maybe he called it seeing each other, but it was literal. Like I said, we met up. But it was for a drink or a movie. I had no idea he had a wife.
I'm not interested in whether you knew he had a wife or not. You're fortunate I haven't contacted my lawyer yet. But you better be prepared to compensate me, or I'll take you to court. You know I can sue you for damages because of this.
What? Sue me for damages?
Of course. You slept with my husband. I can sue you for that. It's the risk you take when you knowingly get involved with a married person. You were aware of that, right?
You persist in using the term sleeping with. I've already told you, I wasn't even dating him. And I had no idea that he was married.
You can't prove that. Those affectionate messages you two exchanged. It's pretty clear what was going on.
Affectionate messages? That never happened. Besides, I met your husband on a dating app. It wasn't for casual encounters either. It was for people seeking marriage partners. So, if a married man signs up for an app to find a spouse, why would anyone assume they're already married?
I don't know what you're talking about. And I don't care about any of that anyway. You'd better pay me the money you owe. After all, you were involved with my husband. It's only fair that you compensate me for that. It affects more than just you. Consider how I feel about all of this.
Regardless of that, your husband willingly joined a dating app. He stated he was single and seeking a wife. That's why I contacted him in the first place. Anything beyond that, I can't be held responsible for his actions.
Stop making excuses. I don't care what you say. Robert is married. And you were involved with him. You can't talk your way out of this. Robert has already confessed to it. You'll have to accept it.
Confess to what? Meeting me for a drink? Watching a movie with me? That's all we ever did. Did Robert say anything more than that?
Yes, he did. He admitted to cheating on me with you. So, I'm going to demand compensation from you.
What you're saying is ludicrous.
If you won't pay me now, then I'll take you to court and get the money from you that way.
You're going to sue me?
That's correct. If you're refusing to pay me, then I'll pursue this legally. So, I'll see you in court.
Please, let's calm down a bit. I didn't sleep with Robert. I had no knowledge of his marital status. I've explained this already, haven't I?
Just be quiet. If you don't want me to take legal action, just pay me directly.
Are you threatening me?
What? Threatening?
Yes, you're threatening me. You're attempting to intimidate me into giving you money, aren't you?
Threatening is a bit strong. I have every right to seek compensation from you. I'm simply requesting it from you.
I've answered all your questions about this. If you're claiming that Robert is having an affair with me, while I insist we've done nothing, what's your basis for this?
It's evident from your chat history.
Can you provide an example of something I said that suggests an affair?
You were asking him about when and where you two should meet up. Things like that.
Oh, just basic questions that any two people might ask each other.
Just stop. Are you saying you're not going to pay me compensation money? You're saying you want me to take you to court? You want to pay all the lawyer fees on top of the compensation money? I'm serious about this.
What do you mean, you're serious about it?
I'm not going to let a woman get away with this. Not for trying to steal my husband. I'll never forgive you. Not till I get what you owe me. Pay me. If you don't, I'll even call your company and tell everyone you work with what kind of person you are.
So, basically, you are threatening me, aren't you?
Just shut up and pay me. Do you want to be sued?
If you want to sue me, go ahead and sue me.
Huh? So you're gonna be like this, huh? I know you work for a good company. Robert told me. So you want to get fired over all this? If you just pay me the compensation money, we could settle this out of court. And I wouldn't have to make trouble for you at your office.
Well, if I were trying to do this, doesn't that mean Robert would get fired too?
What? Robert get fired? What are you talking about?
Well, if you think I can get fired for it, why wouldn't he? I know what you're doing here. You and Robert. You're both just trying to get money from me, aren't you?
What do you mean?
You told your husband to register for the dating app. I bet you told him if he finds a good woman with money, that he should try to have an affair with her. And you'd try to get compensation money from her for doing it. That's what's going on here, isn't it?
That's not it at all. Robert went and had an affair on his own. I had nothing to do with it. I'm not forgiving him either. And I'm definitely not forgiving you.
I see what's going on. Okay, those messages you sent to me. The ones where you were threatening me to get me to pay you. I'm gonna go show them to the police. And see what they have to say about it.
What? The cops? Why? I told you, we can settle this out of court.
The fact that you're so eager to settle this out of court. It seems a bit too fishy for me. You guys are running a con here, aren't you? You're trying to get money. Your whole aim is to get compensation money from people. You're using the dating app to find potential victims, aren't you?
We wouldn't do anything like that. Look, I don't know what you're talking about. So let's just get this matter settled outside of court. We can do this in cash. So let's start discussing an appropriate amount. You know you're in the wrong here. So just accept it and give in.
I'm not giving in. I didn't sleep with your husband. That wasn't the reason I met with him in the first place. We've never gone that far. And yet you tried to threaten me by telling me I did something that I know I didn't do? You guys are scaring me now, with taking things this far. So I'm going to the police, and filing a report.
What? You're reporting me? Stop messing around. Filing a report is only going to be bad for you, isn't it? And I'm sure it's going to get you fired too.
What? My company can't fire me for something like this. Besides, none of this is my fault anyway. I've done nothing wrong.
How can you be so sure of that?
That's a stupid question. I know if I've slept with someone or not. That's how I'm so sure of it. I know you're just trying to scam me.
What? This isn't a scam.
I found everything a bit suspicious. Robert was quite insistent about everything. Fortunately, I didn't go any further than I did. He also kept insisting on taking pictures of us together. Everywhere we went, he wanted to capture every moment. And he made sure I was in all his selfies. If you read our messages, you'll see he tried to make everything seem very intimate. No matter how small it was. Clearly, my messages didn't have that tone at all. Not to mention how often he messaged me for no reason at all. Now that I think about it, it's obvious he was trying to make it look like we were more involved than we really were. I guess he was desperate to create that illusion.
I have no idea what you're talking about right now. Stop acting like this. Do you have any idea how I feel being cheated on?
Honestly, I don't. But either way, I wasn't involved with your husband. So, you've got nothing to worry about.
Shut up. Just pay me my money. If you just pay me the money, we can end this all right here. I'll send Robert over to pick up the money from you tomorrow. Just pay me $1,000. That's pretty darn cheap for compensation money, don't you think?
I wouldn't know about that. But, I plan on going to the police about this anyway. If you keep messaging me trying to get me to pay, you'll just be wasting your time. I'm not doing anything until the police have looked into this.
Why are you going to the police? I have every right to get compensation money from you. I'm only requesting that you pay me what I deserve.
What right are you talking about?
It's my right. Because you slept with my husband. I can sue you for that. I'm supposed to get money. I'm not doing anything wrong. You're supposed to pay me. I'm not threatening you. If I don't ask you to pay me the money, how else am I supposed to get you to pay it?
Well, maybe if you had some evidence. You could prove it to a lawyer or judge. And get the money through legal means. But you're telling me that I slept with Robert when I know I didn't. And like I said, even if I had no idea he was married. So you wouldn't be awarded any money. I met him on a dating app for people looking for marriage partners. And he told me he was married. So, even if I had slept with him, you'd lose in court. And on top of that, I can prove everything I've said. You can't prove any of your outrageous claims. So, I have no obligation to pay anyone any compensation money.
What? Is that how it works?
Yes. But, I'm still going to report this to the police. Because I'm pretty sure you're trying to pull a scam right now. So, you'd better get ready for a police investigation.
Wait. Just hold on. I get it. I guess you legally don't have to pay me. I didn't know that. I misunderstood the law.
Huh?
Robert seems genuinely remorseful about what's transpired here. I suppose I can forgive you this time. You had no knowledge of his marriage. There's no need for you to compensate me.
No worries, it's not an issue. No need to apologize to me. You can clarify everything with the police.
What are you referring to? I've decided to let this go. There's no need for you to pay me. I acknowledge my mistake. Let's handle this like adults and move on. It was a significant misunderstanding.
This entire conversation will serve as evidence of your threats and attempt to extort money from me. So, I'll take this matter to the police and let them decide how to proceed.
Please. Hold off on that. I assured you the issue is resolved. There's no need for hasty actions. I get it. I was wrong. You don't need to pay me. Let's end it here.
Huh? I'm sorry, but I'm not sure what you're talking about. It was quite clear that you were attempting a scam. I intend to report this to the police. It's the right thing to do.
Must you take it to such extremes? I've admitted my mistake. I'm genuinely sorry.
Well, you've pushed it this far with me already. So it's likely you've done this before. You've probably threatened, scammed, and swindled others in the past.
I've never engaged in such activities.
Please inform Robert not to use dating apps for scams or harming innocent people.
Please, just wait. I'll convey that to Robert. However, that was all him, not me.
You've already shared your full name with me. And I now have your contact information after you messaged me. I'll be sure to provide all of that to the police. I've captured a clear picture of Robert from his profile. And his statement about being unmarried and seeking a life partner. So the police should have no difficulty identifying the right person and confirming your scam.
I deeply regret what we did. We won't engage in such activities again. Please, refrain from involving the police. I'm begging you. I never intended to do anything wrong.
You claim not to have meant harm. Yet you deliberately attempted to defraud someone? That's troubling.
I'm so apologetic.
You can apologize as much as you want. But at this point, I won't let this go. You tried to intimidate someone into giving you money. Consequently, you'll have to face the consequences. You and your husband. Following that, Jessica went to the police and reported the incident. They recommended she file an official police report to facilitate a thorough investigation and, potentially, press charges against the couple. After submitting the report, the police initiated their inquiry. They uncovered that Mr. and Mrs. Tyndall had executed the same scheme on several other individuals. Surprisingly, some of these victims had indeed given them money. Subsequently, the police apprehended Robert and Melissa Tyndall. Substantial evidence was gathered to construct a strong case against the couple. Following their appearance in court for their crimes, the Tyndalls were compelled to reimburse all the money they had extorted from their other victims, along with numerous additional fines for their actions. Ultimately, they were forced to return a considerably larger sum of money than they had ever earned from their scams. It indeed illustrates that crime doesn't pay.